Hello, my name is Joshua Trainor. Our experiment was about finding a way to modify or enhance the growth of feeder crayfish, Procambarus clarkii, by giving them a growth hormone called somatotropin, which is typically used on livestock. Our hypothesis was that the somatotropin will make the crayfish grow faster, but not make them grow past their expected, max growth. First, we looked at different growth hormones and researched the effects of these hormones. Then we chose the Soma spray because it was usually used on livestock and humans, which means it was animal tested. After we finished researching the somatotropin, we looked at different types of crayfish. After we finished researching, we decided to use feeder crayfish because they were the only ones on the Carolina website and they're the easiest to access. According to one of our articles, crayfish have very low thermal tolerance, which means they do not do well with drastic climate changes in their habitat. In another one of our articles, I also found that crayfish are also very territorial, which means if you put several male crayfish together in one tank, they'll most likely start to fight.
Crayfish are also very territorial, so if we took a bunch of male crayfish and put them into one group together, they'll most likely start fighting each other. We took the 12 crayfish and split them into two groups of 6. The crayfish in group A received the somatotropin, while the ones in group B did not. The crayfish in group A received the same amount of somatotropin at the beginning of each week. We then measured the length and weight of the crayfish in each group at the beginning and end of each week. We then compared the growth of the crayfish in group A to the ones in group B. We expected the crayfish in group A to reach its expected growth line quicker, but not exceed it. However, we were wrong. The data shows that the biggest crayfish in group A grew 1 inch, while the biggest crayfish in group B only grew 0.75 inches. Some of our limitations was that the crayfish kept dying and fighting each other, and we couldn't control the temperature of the water very well, so they kept dying very easily. Our future studies is that we hope to give the human growth hormone to other creatures and crustaceans like crabs, lobsters, etc. Now, our data shows that our hypothesis was incorrect because the crayfish in group A grew 1/4 of an inch longer than the ones in group B.